Hi, I'm Mary Nittman. I'm one of the nurses at Hewlett-Packard Company. We have two nurses here. I start at 7 o'clock in the morning. The other nurse starts at 12 in the afternoon. And we are here from 7 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. We have a swing shift, which is becoming more and more popular, and we have more and more people working the swing shift. If you have a problem and need to call us, please do. We're on call after we go home at 8. I will give you our telephone numbers, our home telephone numbers, before you leave here today. I'd like to give you a little bit of safety orientation today before we throw you out into the thrones of the plant, because you're going to find yourself dealing with all sorts of things out there. We have a lot of caustics, we have a lot of acids out on the various lines, and I know you girls have found out downstairs that you're using different kinds of cleaners. Those cleaners usually contain acid, and we would like to tell you today what to do if you get acid in your eye, if you become associated with acid on your skin. We want you to wash it off and take care of it promptly. We also want to tell you, and you probably already know, that safety glasses are pretty mandatory at Hewlett-Packard. You all have a pair. You all have been given a pair. If you wear prescription glasses, we will buy your prescription glasses for you. If your prescription is over a year old, then we ask you to get a new prescription from your doctor and bring it into either Laura or I, and we will buy your safety prescription glasses for you. We like to get your prescription glasses on you within about 3 weeks, so if your prescription is over a year old, please come in and let us know so we can get you set up and get you going. If you should get chemical in your eye or chemical on your skin, we ask you to wash that and to wash it profusely and then come into first aid. First aid, as you probably already know, sits in the middle of the two buildings. And if you people are coming up from downstairs, you have almost a mile to walk. If you splash acid in your eye, that acid is reacting all the time you're walking. So we ask you to wash it out. You should have an eye wash down there. Wash it out and wash it out real well. And then wash it out again and wash it out again, and then come up to first aid and let us take care of it. Dilute that acid and then come up and let us take care of it. The same way with acid on your skin. If you're working with acid, you have soap and water very nearby. So I forgot what I was going to say. Wash it off very, very well, and then come up to first aid and let us take care of it. If you have a foreign body in the eye, and a lot of you girls are clipping, and when you clip, usually the little piece of metal, the little piece of clipping will settle in the lower part of your eye. Come on up to first aid and let us remove it. While you're coming to first aid, if you can take your finger and hold your eye open so that you're not scratching your eye all the time, it helps a bunch. So try and hold it open. If you can't, just come on up and let us take a look at it. We like very much to take care of all scrapes and scratches and punctures. You people get very, very busy. Maybe you're working on an instrument. You do not want to stop and take the time to come to first aid, and you think, well, as soon as I get done with this instrument, I'll go down and I'll tell the girls about it. We worry more about the small cuts, the small scrapes, the small punctures than we do about the big ones. We know you're going to take care of the big ones. The little ones get infected, and they get infected rather quickly. No matter where you're working, they're going to get dirty. If you puncture yourself, even though it's a small puncture, maybe it's just a staple puncture, maybe it won't even bleed, but it hurts. Come on up and let us clean it out and soak it out so that you will not get infection in it. A puncture wound is a very good wound to grow a very good culture. It's nice and dark down there, it's nice and warm down there, and this is where your germs like to grow, and this is where your infections like to grow. So come on in and let us take care of it so that you will not get an infection. A small infection like that can put you in the hospital in about 6 hours. So come on in and let us take care of it. Same way with bruises and contusions. If you're injured, if you fall, first of all, if you fall, you're going to be very embarrassed. You're going to kind of get up and look around and see who's been looking at you. You think, well, I'm not hurt. I'm not going to go in there. I'm not going to report it. Come on in and report it, because maybe 3 hours later, or maybe even a day later, you may have a knee or a shoulder or an elbow that's really going to be hurting you. So come on in and report it so that we can take care of it. Maybe we need to put ice on it. Sometimes you can jam a finger. Sometimes you can jam a wrist. We want to see that wrist. We want to see that finger. We want to give it first aid. So come on in and report your accident to us and let us take care of it. If you do not report an accident and you have problems with it later, it's awfully hard for us to do something about it. We're not mind readers. We don't know that you're sitting out on the line suffering. So come on in and tell us you're suffering so that we can report this and report this to the Industrial Commission. If you have an accident and it is not reported, they will dock you every day for it, the time that it was not reported. I want you to take these and read these. These are posted in different parts of the plant. And they tell you your rights and they tell you our rights. So we have to follow these very, very carefully. But in order to report an accident, we have to know about it. So please come in and report your accidents. If you're working with solder and you have a solder burn, you treat this very much like you do your acid burn. If there's cold water around, use it. Wash that thermal burn the same way you did with your acid. It's not as important to dilute anything like it would be with your acid, so come on back and let us take care of it. One of the first questions you get when you walk into first aid is, when did you have your last tetanus toxoid booster? If you people are fairly young, you've all had your DPT shots, you have all had your 1, 2, 3 shots when you were children. If you have not had a tetanus booster in the last 8 years, you need to start your series all over again with your family doctor. If he will give you your first one, which he will, I'm sure, if you ask him for it, then we will finish up your series. This is a series of 4. He gives you the first one, we give you your second, third, and fourth one. Your second one is a month apart from your first. They're a month apart until you get to your fourth one, and that fourth one is 6 months apart. And then with an injury, after 8 months, you'll get another one if you have a pretty good injury. We have medications in first aid. We sort of have a home-type medicine cabinet. As you go into first aid, on your right-hand side, there's a big white cabinet. And in that cabinet, you'll find almost everything you would find at home for your own medication. If Laura or I are busy, or if we're not in first aid, just come in and help yourself like you would at home. There's aspirins in there, there's antacids, Vaseline, A&D ointment, Vicks, whatever you might want. Just come in and help yourself. That's what they're put there for, and that's what we want you to use them for. If you have long hair, we ask you to tie it back. We ask you to dress safely. Please do not wear loose clothing that can become entangled in machinery. You feel that maybe perhaps you're not working by machinery. We had an accident not too long ago of a man that was walking by a machine and caught the front of his shirt in a machine. Luckily, he was not hurt badly, but it could have been a very bad accident. So we ask you to dress sensibly. We ask you to wear proper footwear. We cannot wear sandals in the production line. You drop hot solder on your big toe and it hurts. We ask you not to wear leather soles and leather heels. Our floors get very, very slippery downstairs. If you find yourself in the plant, say you've forgotten, and you do have leather soles and leather heels on, come on into first aid and we'll put some tape on the bottom of your shoe like you do your little kids at home so they won't slip and fall. But it works, so come on in, let us do it. Also, in the wintertime, we have a problem with the parking lot. It snows and no one can do anything about it. We try and scrape the parking lot. We try to keep it pretty clear, but it's impossible to keep all the ice and all the snow off of the lot. A lot of the girls wear tennis shoes to work, which is very, very fine inside the building, but it is not proper footwear outside the building. We ask you to wear snow boots, and we ask you to bring your other shoes along and then change your shoes after you get into the building. You come to work, you have tennis shoes on, your feet get warm, the sole of your foot gets warm, you step outside into the snow and it's just slick enough, and the next thing you know you're sitting on the ground, and there we are in an embarrassing condition again. So try and wear proper clothing, proper footwear. I have Bill David here, and Bill David's been around for a long, long time, and he shows you how not to lift. I'm going to have to retire Bill one of these days, I think. Bill shows you to lift, and to lift with your partial or your box close to your body, and to lift with your knees so that you carry your weight on your knees. We ask you not to lift with your bundle out away from your body, because then when you lift where? You lift with your back. Your back is sort of like a piece of elastic. You may be able to lift this box this way 110 times, but that 111th time you may just pull something just the wrong way. And once you tear your ligaments in your back, it takes an awful long time to repair them. Sometimes they really never repair properly as they should. So we ask you when you lift to lift it close to your body and to put all the weight of that partial on your knees. Also, if you're carrying a box or a bundle somewhere, if you're going to turn with your feet, don't turn with your body, because this puts an awful strain right back here too. So when you lift, remember to lift correctly so that you won't hurt yourself. We allow 15 minutes in the nurse's station before you're docked. If you need to come in for a personal reason, if you need to come in to make a call to your doctor and so on and so forth, we'll come on in and do it, and that usually allows you plenty of time. I've told you about burns, and I'll review that with you in just a minute. Bob Porter makes all our safety glasses. If you have problems wearing your plain glasses, perhaps you do not wear a prescription, and you are having problems wearing your plain glasses, come on in and bug us. We want those glasses to fit properly, and we want them to fit right, and we want you to be able to wear them without any discomfort. So we don't mind being bugged at all, so come on in and bug Laura and I with your glasses until we find a pair that fits you properly. If we have too much problem with it, we'll send you down to Bob Porter. If you should come in with a small cut or scratch, and Laura or I are busy or we're not there, and you feel that you can take care of it yourself like you would at home, we ask you to do this in kind of a special way. On the right side of the sink is plenty of surgical soap and plenty of peroxide. We ask you to wash that cut or scratch well with those two things. And then we ask you to apply the Band-Aid in this manner. Open it up like you would anywhere, and take your ointment and put it on that Band-Aid, and then put that Band-Aid on that finger. This way we can use this tube of ointment for thousands of people. But if you apply it on yourself directly, then we contaminate this tube and we can't use it on anyone else. So we ask you to put the ointment on the Band-Aid and then apply it to whatever spot you need it. We have our own blood bank at HP. If you or your immediate family should need blood for any reason, just let Laura or I know, or Ruth Stockton downstairs. Ruth Stockton is the insurance gal downstairs, and she will notify us, and we will see that the units of blood are replaced to your credit. We have a blood bank both at St. Francis and at Penrose. It does not matter, perhaps you're on vacation, maybe you're in Wyoming or California and need 3 units of blood, maybe you were in a car accident of some kind. Just let us know and we'll have it transferred to your credits. Okay? If you have any old glasses at home and you're going to throw them out, we would appreciate it very, very much if you'd throw them our way. We save these, and twice a year we send them to the Prevention of Blindness. And they file each one of these lenses. They use the frames, they use the parts. They give them to children that cannot afford them. They give them to families that are not able to buy glasses for their children. They use them for older people. And we are very, very happy to get them. So please give them to us if you're just going to throw them out anyway. If you are out 40 hours ill, you are in the emergency room for any type of observation, if you are in the hospital overnight for any reason, if you have any type of surgery, we need a written permit from your doctor stating that you can return to work. We cannot let you go to work without that written permission. We have the regular forms which state medical release down in our office. You can have that filled out. Say you know you're going into the hospital for a tonsillectomy or something, stop by and get one. In case of an emergency, you're going to find yourself in an emergency room without a slip for some reason. So ask the doctor to take his little prescription blank and fill out, Tom Jones can return to work on Monday morning on such and such a date, and have him sign his John Henry. If you have any restrictions, maybe he doesn't want you to stand all day. Maybe he doesn't want you to sit all day. Maybe he wants you to be off of a foot. Maybe you sprained an ankle up skiing or something. Have him put that restriction on that piece of paper so we are better able to help you take care of yourself. If you are a contact wearer, we need to know about it. OSHA tells us that every contact wearer has to be registered in the nurse's office. So if you should wear contacts, please come in and fill out the little card we have for you. If flu shots are over this year, we offer flu shots every fall. Everyone that needs them can sign up for them. If you have a call out to your doctor and he's going to return a call to you, please ask your doctor to tell the telephone operator that Dr. So-and-so is going to call you, and she'll make a special effort to find you. It's awfully hard to hear your pages sometimes in the building. So just tell doctor, please identify yourself to the switchboard operator, and she'll get a hold of your line leader or someone, so you'll get that call. We have a few things in this little book. Did you all receive one of these when you were hired? Here's to safety. Here's to your health and safety. I think they've helped me out with mine a little bit. I don't think everyone has a cocktail glass in their hand. I want you to go through these tonight when you get home. It tells you how to be safe. It tells you to think safety. If you see a condition that you feel that is unsafe, please notify your supervisor. Let them know so that they can bring it up at the safety committee meeting. If you think that it should have immediate attention, well, please tell him. They appreciate your thoughts. If you see that no action is being taken, please consult one of the members of the safety committee. They all wear green badges, so you can find them in that respect. Tells you in here what you should and what you shouldn't wear. Tells you to be a good housekeeper, and that means if you see something on the floor that someone might slip and fall on, please you pick it up. Also, if someone is injured or if you need one of the nurses and you need us right now this minute, dial 234 and they'll have us there. They'll have us there immediately. So if there's always other people around, if they ask you to call a nurse, and please get her now. Just dial 234. I'm going to review over here just a little bit some of the things that I have told you. I want to impress on you that if you do have an accident, no matter how slight, if you think that nothing's going to become of it, please come in and report it anyway. If Laura or I are not there, and just come in and write it down. And we have slips that sit by the resuscitator. They look like this. Each month we get out a fresh sheet. If you fill it up, we can find you another one. We ask you to come in, put in your department, the date, your name, and what you did. Perhaps you cut your little finger, left hand, maybe you fell on your right elbow. Just put your injury or complaint there and let us know about it. So in case 3 days later you're having difficulty with that elbow or with that little finger, we can do something. It's been recorded. So do you all understand that we report injuries? Okay. Now I'm going to go over here, and you can watch the monitor over there, and we'll throw these up. And this is just sort of a a little review. I don't think you can read the writing on these, can you? They're just little few cartoons that we found for you. This man is on crutches and says it happened when I was running to tell a safety man my idea on safety. But he wasn't being very safe because he was running. Okay? And this is Mr. Wiseowl. And we have a lot of Wiseowl members at Hewlett Packard. We have a lot of saved lives because of the wearing safety glasses. And Susie wrote a little jingle here that says, we're free, you know, so why don't you show an interest in me and I'll protect you. That's our Wiseowl. And you see several people in the plant with Wiseowl pins on, and that means that they're outside physical safety because they wear their safety glasses. Some of you have other different type of equipment for besides the safety glasses. We can be fined, you can be fined. We can be fined for not giving you equipment. You can be fined for not wearing it. So, wear your equipment. This guard is saying that's for emergency eye wash man. Get acid in your eye, head for the eye wash, but it's not your boots on. Okay? What does this tell you? Dress safely. We don't wear long beads. We don't wear a lot of bracelets. No open sandals. No loose clothing. What does this one show you?
How to look.
Yeah. It's an awful small job that doesn't take at least one supervisor. And this I forgot to cover with you, but I think maybe this will explain. It's the nurse's job to tell a person that the people next to her are having a hard time breathing the air around them, so keep clean. Many people wear a lot of nylons, and it's hard to keep odor out of nylons. I know with myself, I wear nylon uniforms, and I usually in the last week you do have to be pretty careful because we're pretty crowded downstairs. We have to work awfully close to one another. This guy is sleeping very, very peacefully because he feels that he is well covered as far as accidents are concerned. We have 2 insurance policies at Hewlett Packard. Hewlett Packard carries a group insurance on you and will also carry it on your family if you sign up for it. And Ruth Stockton will be talking to you and will be explaining that coverage to you. We take care of you if you're injured on the job. So report your accident so that we can take care of you. So you will be well covered as far as insurance is concerned. This is an accident at home. Connecticut General takes care of this, and that's what Ruth Stockton will be explaining to you. This is the insurance policy that Hewlett Packard carries on everyone. So, if you have an accident at home, come on in and get an accident form so you can take it to your doctor so that will be paid for. This is an accident at work. And they tell me this is a bad interpretation because the handles are not supposed to come off. We weren't thinking of that. This reminds you of what? Your tetanus shot. All shots are painless. This man is saying, injury on the job? Yes, we have a record of that accident. The same man is writing a check for your accident and saying, we're glad you reported your accident promptly. And speaking of reporting accidents promptly, get it? you have an emergency and you want us in a hurry, what's the number you call? 234. If you forget that number, just dial the operator. And we also have our own blood bank at Hewlett Packard, which I explained to you before. That's a symbol of that. Do any of you have any questions?
Just a little closer to the city.
I think we're finished reading.
Okay.
Any questions? Anything else? What do you do if you have an accident? What do you do if you have an accident? Report it. What do you do if you have acid in your eye? Then what do you do? You wash it out real first. What do you do if you have acid on your skin? What do you do for punctures?
Come to you.
Right. What kind of shoes do you not wear in the snow? Unsafe. Any shoes. Anything that you're really going to slip or fall on, any type of shoes. Wear good products. What kind of shoes do you wear in the car? Do you wear all leather and all sorts of shoes? I think you've been listening, but they will get together with you. I'm sure they'll get together.